Alex Caravan in this game, and they call those guys the Bash Brothers.
Yeah, very similar games, really. Houck is 2 inches shorter at 6'9". The second one is up, and that one rattles home. So Florida by 3, 13-10. With 11:10 to go in the first half. Now Condon comes back in for Houck, so quick substitution there.
Houck leads them in free throws made, so he does get contact in the lane.
All right, McNeely will play the point guard for the moment as he dribbles it right, almost had it taken away from him, recovers it, kicks it out front to Mahaney. Mahaney starts left, back to his right, up a screen by Samson Johnson. Mahaney floats it up to Johnson. Johnson catches, puts it up, missed it. A lot of contact, but no whistle. Rebounded by the Gators. Blow by Clayton, and a block by Johnson, but a foul is called. No, they're counting the basket. No, I don't think so. I think you got to review that. The foul has been called on Mahaney as Clayton took advantage right away and attacked the rim. They're going to review that, but I do not think that's goaltending.
Because the ball never went in.
The call for goaltending is under review.
Notice that Mahaney has been on the court early in the game. His minutes have gone up in the last 4 games, averaging 15 minutes a game. And here's a guy that was really struggling for UConn, but he's been shooting all right, doesn't shoot a lot. But I just think right now that with the struggles UConn has had, 3 for 17 shooting, he's just looking for any combination offensively that works. So Mahaney's been better in the last 4+ games. He got the early call off the bench because other guys just aren't producing offensively.
Yeah, Mahaney in the last 5 games, 9 of 20 from the field, 6 of 11 from 3. So he has raised his game as the season has gone on late into March, actually. That's a good sign because the transfer from St. Mary's was kind of languishing on the bench.
It has been reversed. It's an illegal block. It will be a 2-shot foul.
Yeah, Samson Johnson did a great job of blocking that. Before the ball started down, yep, and he got it.
But they gave the foul to Mahaney.
So there'll be 2 free throws for Walter Clayton Jr.
Mahaney, who came from St. Mary's in California, first year at UConn. That's where Todd Golden, the head coach of Florida, played. He was a starting point guard, was number 2 in the nation assist-to-turnover ratio, and he led the West Coast Conference at 57% shooting. That's pretty good for a guard.
Yeah, he's left-handed. I watched him work out a little in the shoot-around day. The coach, Todd Golden, that is. A tall, lanky guy, done a nice job of rebuilding Florida. Clayton makes both free throws. And the lead for Florida now 15-10 with 10:46 to go in the first half. Here's Mahaney on a handoff to McNeely. He starts back to his left, picked up by Aberdeen. Now back out front to Solo ball. Solo jabs with 1 foot back to his left. Down low, they get it to Stewart. And Stewart is fouled as he laid it in. Great look by Solo and a nice back cut by Jalen, and he's able to reverse it in, and if he can make a 3-point play, UConn gets back within 2.
Well, I talked about Hurley looking for the right combination off the bench because the starters were having a real hard time. Stewart's been the guy. He had UConn's second field goal a game of 3. He now lays it in, a chance for a 3-point play on this. He's got 5 of UConn's 12 points.
Stewart add another one to it. He's got 6. Diarra set to check in. 15-13, Florida. 10:20 to go in the first half. Aberdeen guarded by Mahaney on the perimeter. Reed out there to help. Aberdeen gives up the dribble and hands over to Condon. Condon left-hand dribble. Backdoor cut Clayton. He attacks Reed. They work the perimeter to Aberdeen. Aberdeen all the way to the basket, and he is fouled by Reed. So Terrace Reed left his feet. Not a good move against a smaller man. Got to stand your ground. I mean, he's got to stay in this game. And 10 minutes into it, he's got 2.
That's been a problem for him, especially lately in postseason. That's 3 straight games. He's picked up 2 quick fouls.
Yeah, he's trying to help on defense. And when big men do that, they got to stand their ground because you're moving a big frame and a lot of weight and a free throw good by Aberdeen. And Florida hanging on to this lead. They're up 16-13 midway through the first half. Samson Johnson's got to come back in. Mahaney's out. Diarra back in. Colorado State, Maryland will play tonight, and that winner will play this winter. Both free throws, and there's a lane violation by the Gators, and wipe that one off. So the score remains 16-13. McNeely, Diarra, Johnson, Ball, Stewart right now for UConn. Here's Diarra left to right, front court right. Hands over to McNeely on the right wing, back out front to Ball. Ball left-hand dribble and a give to Stewart. Out front, Johnson. Johnson looks to hand off, and he gets it to McNeely. McNeely starts left into the paint. Pull up by McNeely's good. Nice move by Liam. He took it in about 10 feet away, and a little pull-up goes, and UConn's within 16-15. 9.5 to go. McNeely with his second bucket. Here are the Gators. Clayton Jr. attacks down low. They work the perimeter to Aberdeen. Over Diarra. No. Rebound Samson Johnson, and he got fouled. Chinyulu knocked him down, and Sampson is getting after it. And a foul called on the Gators. That's their third team foul.
Huskies struggling from 3, 2 for 11, but Florida doing its damage in the paint. They're 1 for 4 outside the arc. And their best three-point shooter, Clayton, he's 0 for 2.
All right, McNeely will hand it to Diarra. Here we are, 9:20 to go in the first half, and a 1-point Florida lead. Diarra crosses the timeline. He's guarded there by Martin. Gives to McNeely and gets a handoff back in the left wing. Hassan out front to McNeely. Starts to his right. Picked up by Condon on a switch. Now he attacks Martin. Nowhere to go. Fires it outside of Diarra. They're under 10. Stewart to Ball. Ball dribble penetration. Can't get the shot off. Go down low to Diarra. He missed the layup. It's batted around. He got his own rebound. McNeely tries. Back rim, no good. And the rebound down, taken by Richard. UConn could have taken a lead. Florida front court left. It's Condon with it. Condon gives to Clayton, who got away with a travel and a drive on the baseline by Richard. Stripped by Diarra. And they say it's off of Richard. Great hustle by Diarra. I'll tell you what, he's had active hands here in his first half. He's been taking the ball away, and that's been a big deal for UConn's defense.
They probably won't give him a steal on that, but he certainly contributed to the 7th turnover by Florida.
That was a good call by the official. Tough call to make on the baseline as the reach-in by Diarra created the turnover. Here's Hassan, front court right. Starts back to his left, kicks it left to Ball, and Ball fires a shot, and it's a foul on Samson Johnson for a moving screen. We're still getting these calls 35 games into the season, Wayne. It's so frustrating that UConn gets Sampson now with another foul.
This is UConn's worst nightmare because of the inside power that Florida has, and they've also got guards who drive the lane a lot too. They've got 3 fouls on the bigs already. 2 Reed, 1 Johnson.
Walter Clayton Jr. walks it across the timeline right to left. Gives it up to Houck, gets it back. Starts to his right, back to Houck, and then a play catch. Houck. It's Clayton Jr. between the rings. He starts to his right, tries to go to the basket, try to lay it up. The shot is blocked and knocked out of bounds off of the Huskies. So under 8 minutes, and Florida's lead by 1, 16-15. They're only 5 of 14 from the field. UConn only 5 of 21, so shooting and scoring at a premium. Key Hyundai in Milford and Manchester, Genesis of Milford and Middletown Chevrolet. They're all the home to the 1 million mile powertrain warranty for all new car sales. Timeout on the floor. Just under 8 minutes to go in a 1-point Florida lead here in the first half. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown Banderas and Scott.
Is your retirement game plan a well-executed play or a Hail Mary pass? Hi, I'm Jake Dozer, Certified Financial Planner. At Johnson Brunetti, we've helped over 5,000 families prepare for and live in retirement. And now we're proud to be the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. Visit us at johnsonbrunetti.com and get free financial planning books and resources. Johnson Brunetti, Retirement and Investment Specialists.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Planning a move? Let Lippincott Van Lines, the official mover of the UConn Huskies, take the worry and stress out of your relocation. Whether you're moving across the country, across the world, or just across the street, Lippincott Van Lines will handle your packing, moving, and storage needs with the care and quality they deserve. If the UConn Huskies football team can trust Lippincott to get their gear to the field on time, you can trust them to get your items where they need to be. Call Lippincott Van Lines today for a free estimate at 800-245-8563.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Play-by-play coverage of UConn men's basketball is presented all season long by Key Bank, the exclusive retail bank of UConn men's basketball.
The Big East champion women, the UConn women's basketball team, takes on the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State at Campbell Pavilion Monday, round 2 of the NCAAs. Radio pregame, Bob Joyce, Deb Fisk, begins at 7:30 here along the UConn Sports Network, the Varsity Network app, and the VarsityNetwork.com.
Gets me thinking, Mike, are they the only team in the country whose nickname is the Jackrabbits? By the way, happy birthday to our pal Gino Auriemma, the head coach of the Huskies. The 11-time national champs hits 71 years old today. It was on his birthday back in 2002 that in the Elite Eight in Milwaukee, UConn beat Old Dominion 85-64, and Sue Bird had 11 assists, which was an NCAA record for a UConn player back in 2002.
I was going to say he's 51. He acts like it. That guy's one of the most youthful 71-year-olds you'll ever meet.
Well, Mike, on Selection Sunday, he was talking about this, that you talk about what most coaches are these days. There's a lot of older coaches in the SEC. Todd Golden here of Florida, he's one of the young, I think he is the youngest coach in the SEC, and he actually talked about Dan Hurley, about how he's one of the younger coaches. He's like 53 or so. You know, Gino's a little bit unusual to be at that age coaching, but he still gets the job done as they play their NCAA second-round game. UConn hanging around despite the brutal shooting, 5 of 21. 2 reasons why. Number 1, 7 turnovers by Florida. Number 2, the Gators have missed their last 5 shots.
And Florida's out-rebounding UConn 16-9. I mean, 1-point game. Here's Clayton Jr. Kicks it out to Houck, a 3, short. And a rebound tip to the sideline, loose, and ball comes up with it. Solo to the front court on the right wing. He's guarded out there by Elijah Martin. Out front it comes to McNeely. Caravan back in the ball game. Oh, Caravan was open for a moment. McNeely couldn't get it to him. Liam starts to his right, back to Caravan for 3, and that one's good. He knocks it down. Boy, they needed it. UConn has a lead, 18-16.
First lead of the game for the Huskies.
Here comes Florida. Front court right. It's Clayton Jr. dumps it down low to Houck, and Houck could not get it to go, but he got the rebound. And kick it back out for Martin for 3. He got it. Well, Martin's been a major thorn in the side of the Huskies so far in this one.
Inside and outside.
He's a 35% three-point shooter. He made it there. Florida has the lead back 19-18, and Martin, big time, 12 points so far. Here's DR, front court right, hands to Johnson, gets it back. Hassan out front to Caravan, thought about getting a shot up. Now he drives inside, goes all the way to the basket, lays it in, left-handed. Alexander the Great, and UConn leads 20-19. Clayton Jr., front court left with a left-hand dribble. He's got Diarra in his pocket. He tries to blow by him. Now he kicks, and it's a fadeaway, and he missed it. And the rebound, Diarra. Hassan across the timeline. What a big assignment he's got dealing with Walter Clayton Jr. He had 23 against Norfolk State in the first round of this thing. Here's McNeely, front court right, out front to Johnson on the left wing to Hassan. Now it's Ball. Ball for 3. That's a long one. Off the left rim, no good. Condon got away with a foul underneath as he shoved Samson Johnson and got the board. Here's Martin down low to Houck. He makes the catch, and Houck able to bank it in, and Florida scores and gets the lead back 21-20 with 6 minutes to go. Hassan walks it across the timeline to our right. He's guarded there by Elijah Martin. Martin, a transfer from FAU. They got 7 transfers on this club. 5 countries represented on that Florida roster. Here's McNeely, top of the arc. He skips to the Caravan for 3. Back rim, no good. Ball chased it down on the right wing. You get 20 more seconds. Out front to McNeely. Crossover. McNeely working on Condon. Thought about shooting. He has to kick it back to Ball. Ball called for traveling. And it'll be Florida basketball. Jalen Stewart's going to check in. Let's see. Usually coming in for a ball will come out. Solo 0 for 5, 0 for 4 from 3, and he's made 2 free throws.
Some of these misses by UConn have been open looks, too. They're 3 for 15, and I'm, again, surprised that these NCAA officials, 2 of them we've seen this year, one of them we haven't, but they've let so much contact go at both ends of the court. Let them play.
That's what Florida does, though. They'll try to bully you. Here's Hauk with it on the left wing. On a bounce pass, they go on the perimeter to Martin. Martin guarded by McNeely. Crossover move left hand. Drives into the paint. He gives it up to Clayton Jr. for 3, and he hit it in the near corner. So Clayton Jr. finally has a basket. And he's got 5 points as Florida's back up 24-20. Timeout called by Dan Hurley. 4:54 to go in the first half. So Clayton Jr. went scoreless from the field for 15 minutes before knocking down a 3, just the 3rd of the day for Florida.
Huskies got back in the game because they made stops. 7 shots in a row were missed, but now Florida's hit 3 of the last 4, and 2 of those were threes. Coach Hurley trying to stop the bleeding right now.
All right, when you're out of town and want to keep up with live college sports, be sure to download the free Varsity Network app, available for both Apple and Android. Listen to college sports live with the free Varsity Network app. Listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown Payne, Darris, and Scott. The Gators by 4, just under 5 minutes to go in the first.
Hi, this is Nick Kaplanson from Dime Bank. To win a championship, it takes more than just good players and coaches. It takes a whole community dedicated to the same goal. The same is true when it comes to banking. A successful banking relationship is built from a community fully dedicated to meeting the banking needs of its customers. If you're ready to experience a better approach to banking, come join our community at Dime. It's your bank, your choice, your Dime.
Dime Bank. Community banking lives here. Member FDIC.
From the Berkshires to the Long Island Sound, this is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
UConn basketball brought to you by Connecticut Lottery. Play the limited edition UConn Championship Scratch ticket today. Overall odds are 1 in 3.54. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling helpline call 888-789-7777. UConn down 4 with 4:54 to go in the first. The rebounding 18-12 plus 6 by Florida, but nothing new for them. They're third in the country in rebounding. You got to keep them off the glass as best you can.
And UConn's been such a good rebounding team lately, the last 7 games, plus 11.3 per game, and that includes the Creighton game, which was even on the glass. But UConn has gotten some offensive rebounds, second chance points, 9 for Florida, just 3 for UConn, indicative of their poor shooting.
McNeely, Diarra, Caravan, Johnson, and Jalen Stewart for the Huskies. Johnson has a high post right outside the arc with a couple of dribbles and a handoff to McNeely. McNeely starts back to his left on Martin. He's got a step on him. He goes to the basket and he draws the foul on the big man as he right into the chest. That was a nice drive against Hangleton. Micah, the junior, he came from Marshall as a transfer. Will Richard came from Belmont, the senior guard.
Well, that's the Liam McNeely we saw in the first half of the season when he would put the ball on the floor and attack. He did that earlier, got a layup out of the deal, but he hasn't been driving the ball much in the last month, as much as he had earlier on. That time he did, and he drew the first foul on Hangleton.
Makes the first free throw. They have the sophomore center, Ruben, Florida does, Chinyulu. He transferred from Washington State. And McNeely's second one is good. So McNeely now with 7 leads the way for UConn. They trail 24-22. 4.5 to go in the first. Florida front court left. It's Aberdeen out front. Looks to Hangleton and now to Hauk. Hauk guarded by Caravan. Here's Martin. Martin for 3. In and out. Got to get the rebound, and Sampson did. He gives it to McNeely. That's 6 rebounds by Johnson. Here's Diarra on the left wing. Gives to McNeely. McNeely out front to Stewart. Now right wing it comes to Caravan. He worked to Diarra. Foul line extended right. Guarded by Clayton Jr. Now to McNeely. McNeely starts to his left. He's got the big man Hangleton in front of him. Tries to drive right. Goes to the basket. Lays it up and just missed it. Caravan on the offensive glass and a putback. 24 apiece here with 3:50 to go. Caravan's got 7. Here's Aberdeen. Front court right. Guarded by Stewart. He hands off to Hauk. Thomas Hauk. Now it's Clayton Jr. on the right sideline. Pull up by Jr. is good. Tough shot. He stepped behind the screen. 27-24. He's made 2 in a row. Walter Clayton Jr.'s got 8. 3:20 to go in the first half. It's Diarra between the rings. He's guarded by Martin. Kicks it to Caravan on the left sideline. Ball and Mahaney set to check back in. Here's Caravan between the rings. Starts to his left. Kicks it right to McNeely. Now Diarra in the near corner. In some trouble. Seconds running off. It's Stewart for 3. No good. Chased down by Sampson Johnson. He gives to McNeely, who goes right to the basket, and he stuffs it home. Mighty Mac, an attack of the rack. And UConn back within 1, 27-26.
Just his 4th dunk of the year against Florida, it turns out, and it came on a second chance hoop.
All right, Aberdeen between the rings. He's guarded by Stewart. Left-hand dribble and a handoff, and it's stolen by Diarra. And a run out, it's one-on-one with Hauk, and he missed the layup. Oh.
He missed it because he was bumped and there was no call.
Hauk got the rebound and a foul called against UConn. The Huskies were right there and a chance to get the lead again. And Diarra tried to draw the foul and couldn't do it, and the rebound went to Florida. Now Dan Hurley looking for an explanation on that one.
Talking to Ron Groover, just swallowed the whistle on that. He was bumped on his left hip, and he missed the shot. It went off the backboard and off on the left side. No whistle.
2.5 to go in the first. Florida by 1, 27-26. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown Payne, Darris, and Scott.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
Husky fans, you know what it takes to win, and so do we. Channel 3 Eyewitness News has the drive and dedication to get you morning ready. Breaking news, we're in it to win it with your reporters live in your town all morning long.
Your reporter in West Hartford, your reporter in stores.
And when you need to make a fast break out the door, we deliver first alert weather and traffic every 10 minutes so you never have to wait. The Huskies in Channel 3 Eyewitness News this morning. 2 MVP lineups always there for you.
This is UConn men's basketball, presented by Key Bank. Now back to our broadcast location.
The weather permitting, Tuesday we begin our coverage of UConn baseball on the UConn Sports Network. Huskies host Boston College at Elliott Ballpark. Pregame coverage 2:45 on the flagship Fox Sports 97.9 in Hartford and AM 1300 New Haven. Plus the iHeart and Varsity apps. I'll be there with Ben Darnell. UConn faces Boston College. Huskies won a couple games in a row at UNC Greensboro, right down the road from here in Raleigh yesterday with a victory 5-2, as they're now 9-11 on the season.
And they're playing there again today in a couple about 8 or 9 minutes or so. They'll be starting that game as UConn finishes off that southern trip during spring break week. UConn coach Dan Hurley said he wanted Alex Caravan and Liam McNeely to keep shooting. Both of them have not been shooting well the last couple of games, and you can see that in the stats right now. McNeely got off to a cold start, but he's had a couple of layups, or at least short jumpers, to go with a three-pointer. But he's taken 9 shots. He's 3 for 9, 1 for 5 from 3. Karaban's taken 7 shots. He's 3 for 7 and 1 for 5. Alex did get the foul on that no call after the missed fast break attempt after the steal by Hassan Diarra. For Alex Karaban, 7 points in the game, and he moves past Al Weston on the UConn career scoring list. Alex now has 1,346 career points, number 27 all-time. And next on the list, he's got a way to go to get it, though, needing more than just this game, is the great Toby Kimball, who, like Alex, 3-year player. At least right now it's 3 years. Don't know if he's coming back or not.
All right, the sixth team foul on the Huskies was on Karaban. And Florida has it front court left. Chinyulu over to Condon, who drives left on Karaban. He hands it off to Martin, guarded by McNeely. Martin behind the arc. Out front to Chinyulu, gets it back. Martin trying to set up McNeely, crossover, attacks the rim, nowhere to go, fadeaway jump, good. What a shot by Martin, under duress. And he gives Florida a 29-26 lead. He's got 14, he's got half of their points. McNeely front court right, guarded by Clayton Jr., out front to Mahaney. Mahaney guarded there by Condon, Alex Condon. Now they kick it right to McNeely, back out front to Mahaney. Into the paint, nice crossover, can't get the shot off. Back to McNeely for 3, no good off the left side of the rim, rebounded by Clayton. On a run out, Richard, right in front of the UConn bench, able to track it down. He gives to Clayton Jr., line drive 3, in and out. Rebounded by Mahaney, saved, and Johnson comes up with it. Mahaney ahead.
Mahaney said he was fouled on that and no call.
Ball to the basket, dumps it to Sampson Johnson for a dunk. And the Huskies back within 1, 29-28.
Solo not shooting well, but that was a beautiful pass on the baseline drive from the left side.
And a very good idea to give it up to Sampson, who was cutting to the basket. On the left wing, Martin attacks down low, nowhere to go. Wants to do another fadeaway, goes with his left hand. No good, and a foul called on Florida. Well, that time Martin forced it up. Elijah just wanted to shoot it. He threw it up left-handed, and Sampson Johnson was fouled that time. And so that is the 6th team foul on Florida. So both teams have 6 team fouls.
And that is the third foul on Ruben Chinyelu. So their big man's going to have to sit.
All right, it's a solo ball. Front court right gives to McNeely. McNeely out front to Mahaney. Under a minute to go in the first. Mahaney between the rings, guarded by Hauk. Drives left, goes to his left hand, missed the shot, batted around, and a foul called on the Huskies. It could be on Karaban. Well, let's see who it's on. Oh, wait a minute. It might be on Sampson Johnson.
I think right now UConn would prefer the foul was on Karaban. Karaban, by the way, has been defending primarily Alex Condon at 6'11". Karaban at 6'8", but has a lot of experience guarding bigs.
It was on Karaban, his second, and now it's a 1-and-1 for the Gators.
I just say it's probably better to have it on Karaban. Not that you want the captain being in foul trouble, but you've already got Terrace Reed Jr. with 2 fouls. Johnson has been able to, so far, just have 1 foul, and you really don't want your 2 bigs each having 2 fouls.
All right, Will Richard on the line. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good. And Florida is now 6 for 6 from the line. UConn 5 of 6.
Will Richard really is what started this whole emergence of the Florida program under Todd Golden. He was Todd Golden's first commit recruiting-wise 3 years ago.
Richard's second one is good. Will Richard is an 83% free throw shooter.
And does he look like Solo Ball's twin brother?
He really does.
I don't mean just facially. The entire physique looks like Solo Ball.
He's a little taller, though. That's the only difference. All right, UConn down by 3. 25 seconds to go. Shot clock, game clock, differential about 6 seconds. McNeely out front to Johnson. Hands to Diarra. He starts to his right. Back to his left. Hassan. Now they're down under 7. He got to go. On the left sideline, not getting any near the basket. Long 3 by Diarra. Good! Oh! The Junkyard Dog delivers. Here's Clayton Jr. to Richard for 3. In and out. And we'll go to halftime at 31 apiece. UConn's in this thing. Heavy underdogs to the number 1 seed, Florida, the SEC tournament champs. I don't know if they were bargaining for this, but the Huskies are giving it to them. And we've got 20 minutes to decide this thing. Who goes to the Sweet 16? Halftime activities are coming up. We pause 10 seconds for station ID. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown, Payne, Darris, and Scott.
Connecticut Business Systems, a Xerox company, is a proud sponsor of the UConn Huskies. We're Connecticut's largest provider of leading Xerox office technology, workflow automation, managed print services, software solutions, and audio-visual technology. We operate locally to offer you superior service and support, combined with the most advanced technology available in the industry. Our sales professionals make it their business to understand yours. So please contact us today for a free office technology assessment. Visit us at cbs-gisx.com or call toll-free at 1-800-842-0009.
Is your retirement game plan a well-executed play or a Hail Mary pass? Hi, I'm Jake Dozer, certified financial planner. At Johnson Brunetti, we've helped over 5,000 families prepare for and live in retirement. And now we're proud to be the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. Visit us at johnsonbrunetti.com and get free financial planning books and resources. Johnson Brunetti, retirement and investment specialists.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Husky fans, you know what it takes to win, and so do we. Channel 3 Eyewitness News has the drive and dedication to get you morning ready. Breaking news, we're in it to win it with your reporters live in your town all morning long.
Your reporter in West Hartford, your reporter in stores.
And when you need to make a fast break out the door, we deliver first alert weather and traffic every 10 minutes so you never have to wait. The Huskies in Channel 3 Eyewitness News this morning. 2 MVP lineups always there for you.
Are you traveling out of Bradley Airport and need a safe, reliable place to park your car? Trust your vehicle to Laz Fly Off-Airport Parking, located on Route 75 in Windsor Locks. They have both valet and self-park options to fit any budget. Laz Fly is open 24 hours a day and will get you to the airport on time every time. Join their loyalty program to earn points for free parking, and be sure to ask about their corporate discounts. Save 20% by pre-booking online at lazfly.com. Laz Fly is the official parking company and a proud supporter of UConn Athletics.
"20 minutes are in the books. This is the KeyBank Halftime Report. KeyBank is the exclusive retail bank of UConn men's basketball. Coming up, we'll recap the first half and check scores from across the country. Now, let's go to the Learfield Network studios.
Welcome back inside the Learfield Network studios. Andrew Allison carrying you through halftime as we are right where we started, in a tie with Florida between the 1 and 8 seed, UConn being the 8 seed there. We're tied at 31. Let's take a look at what is coming up the rest of today in the tournament. At 2:40 in Raleigh, right where we're at, in the East region, it'll be the top seed Duke versus the 9 seed Baylor. We'll move on to Milwaukee at 5:15 for a 3 versus 6 matchup. That is Kentucky versus Illinois in the Midwest region. So a little bit of a road trip there and a road game for the Wildcats. Then about an hour later at 6:10 in Cleveland, East region round 2, the 2 seed Alabama and the 7 seed St. Mary's will go head to head. Exactly an hour later out at Seattle Climate Pledge Arena, winner of this game gets the winner of 4 seed Maryland versus 12 seed Colorado State in the West region in the Sweet 16. I should say the winner will face that one in the Sweet 16. At 7:45 in Milwaukee, South region, 3 seed Iowa State taking on the 6 seed Ole Miss. 8:40 back in Cleveland, a part of the South region, 2 seed Michigan State, 10 seed New Mexico, and then the nightcap in Seattle at Climate Pledge Arena out of the East region, an old Pac-12 matchup, 4 seed Arizona, 5 seed Oregon. The last 2 times these teams faced was in the last Pac-12 tournament, where Oregon ended up upsetting the then 6th seed, or the 6th team in the nation, Arizona, on the way to the Ducks' Pac-12 championship. UConn athletic updates here. We got baseball team underway, bottom of the 4th, and they trail UNC Greensboro 4-0. Coming up a little bit later on, in about an hour, the softball team will be taking on Seton Hall at home. We'll take a break, come back, and get you a little bit of more scores after this on the UConn Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Brown, Panderas, and Scott.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UCONN Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
Planning a move? Let Lippincott Van Lines, the official mover of the UConn Huskies, take the worry and stress out of your relocation. Whether you're moving across the country, across the world, or just across the street, Lippincott Van Lines will handle your packing, moving, and storage needs with the care and quality they deserve. If the UConn Huskies football team can trust Lippincott to get their gear to the field on time, you can trust them to get your items where they need to be. Call Lippincott Van Lines today for a free estimate at 800-245-8563.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup as the top college athletic programs for the 2024-25 college athletic season? You can follow the standings of your favorite team or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2025 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Andrew Allison back inside the network studios, carrying you through halftime. UConn and Florida knotted up at 31 apiece in the round of 32, trying to get to the Sweet 16. Both teams are. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday in the tournament. The top-seeded Auburn gets a big second half and blows by Creighton 82-70. And then in that other side of the bracket, it was the 4 versus 5 game. Michigan pulls away late from Texas A&M, 91-79. So it'll be Auburn and Michigan in the Sweet 16 there. Moving down to the west side of the bracket, we had Texas Tech taking on Drake, and the Red Raiders get the win 77-64 in that one. Then the upset of probably the tournament so far. We had two Hall of Fame coaches going at it with Coach Calipari and Coach Patino, and it was Coach Cal's squad that got the better of St. John's 75-66. The 10-seed Arkansas taking on Texas Tech in the Sweet 16. Moving on to the Midwest region, we have one of the Sweet 16 matchups set up with the top seed Houston holding off 8th seed Gonzaga's comeback attempt in the Midwest region, 81-76. They will face Purdue, who dispatched McNeese 76-62. One other Sweet 16 team from that region, though, has already been decided. That was the 2-seed Tennessee beating 7-seed UCLA 67-58. In the East region, that the other side there does have one as well, where it was 6-seeded BYU upsetting number 3 Wisconsin 91-89. Speaking of the tournament, don't forget that the women's basketball team, they're playing tomorrow. They defeated in their first round game Arkansas State 103-34, and they will face South Dakota State tomorrow. Bob Joyce and Deb Fisk will have that call for you. But we'll take a break. We're going to go ahead and come back. And then Wayne Norman, he's going to give you all the stats. He's going to give you some player clips and some coach clips, all of that ahead on the UConn Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Brown, Panderas, and Scott.
Husky fans, you know what it takes to win, and so do we. Channel 3 Eyewitness News has the drive and dedication to get you morning ready. Breaking news, we're in in it to win it with your reporters live in your town all morning long.
Your reporter in West Hartford. Your reporter in stores.
And when you need to make a fast break out the door, we deliver first alert weather and traffic every 10 minutes so you never have to wait. The Huskies in Channel 3 Eyewitness News this morning. 2 MVP lineups always there for you.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
whoa, my kid's got a serious backhand.
Can lead to an even bigger question like,
tennis campus how much?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you to help you build a savings plan for expenses big and small so your money can make money. Mike, how's that sound?
Sounds like match point.
Sounds like love.
We could serve up tennis puns all day.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank member FDIC.
The passion, the tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports. And we've got you covered on SiriusXM College Sports Radio. There's complete coverage of every major conference, plus live games and 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of SiriusXM free. Subscribe now and see offer details at SiriusXM.com/collegesportsradio25.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids dealing with unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness or disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Help us get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org. Team Impact. All in, all together.
UConn started the game missing 11 of its first 12 shots, but at halftime they're tied with Florida 31-31 as the Huskies have trailed 8 of the prior 12 halftimes. Right now we're tied. UConn closed the first half on 11-7 run over the final 6:47. Huskies led in scoring by Liam McNeely. 3 for 10 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3, but he has 9 points. He's been slumping offensively the last 5 games, averaging only 9.6 a game. He's already got 9. Alex Caraban has 7 points, 1 of 5 from 3. Samson Johnson has 4 points. Solo Ball has 2. Hassan Diarra made that 3 with 5 seconds to go in the half for his only field goal. Jalen Stewart, a real early spark off the bench with 6 points, including a 3. Terrace Reed Jr. got 2 quick fouls, played just 2 minutes and 31 seconds, did not score. Aiden Mahaney played 5 minutes and did not score for the Huskies. Florida led by Elijah Martin. He scored 4 of their first 6 points on layups. 1 was a dunk. So he's got 14. Alex Condon, their starting big man, did not score, only had 2 rebounds. Ruben Shinilo had 2 points, but also 3 fouls in the first half. Walter Clayton Jr. was quiet in the first 10 minutes, then heated up in the second 10. He's got 8 points. Will Richard has 2. Off the bench, they got 4 points by Thomas Houck, 1 point by Denzel Aberdeen, no points by Urban Klabzar, and no points by Micah Hanlon. Florida shot 10 of 26 from the floor, 39%. UConn actually had 1 more made field goal, 11 of 34, 32% for the Huskies, who were 4 for 18 from 3. Florida 4 for 11. Gators made 7 of 7 from the free throw line, while UConn was 5 of 6. Florida rebounded UConn 21-17. Huskies made a pretty good run on the glass in the last 8 minutes or so, and UConn had more offensive than defensive rebounds thanks to that poor shooting. 9 offensive rebounds, good for 7 second chance points. Florida 7 offensive rebounds. They're a really good offensive rebounding team. They got 10 second chance points. Florida had 5 assists and 8 turnovers. They began the game with 1 assist and 7 turnovers, but then they've got 3 straight baskets with assists. And after that slow start, they picked up 4 assists and only 1 turnover. UConn 7 assists and 3 turnovers. They had 5 steals in the first half, 2 by Diarra and 2 blocks, while Florida had 1 steal in the first half and no blocks. 4 lead changes, 2 ties. Points in the paint, 14-12 UConn. Fast break points, 4-0 in favor of Florida. Florida got 5 bench points. UConn got 6 as we're tied at halftime here at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. One thing Coach Dan Hurley wanted to talk about yesterday was his center, Samson Johnson. who's now the winningest four-year player in UConn history, 115 wins.
Sampson's just the most awesome human being and you'll ever have in your program. Just all about team, super talented, waited his turn, dealt with injuries, had to earn his spot, had to earn a starting spot. Will do absolutely anything he can to, help the team win the possession. And it speaks to the type of men we've had and the type of run we've had here in a program. It's hard to make history or do historical things at UConn. And just proud that he gets, that's crazy. At a program like UConn, you've won the most games, man.
And Hurley says there might be more UConn games down here in North Carolina soon.
Yeah, I would love to, because I think that the Duke fans, obviously, they have their history with UConn.
Florals, and much more. As we celebrate our 40th anniversary, we want to thank UConn Nation as we look forward to the next 40 years. Visit us at PowerStationEvents.com and let us help you plan your next awesome event.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Connecticut. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Connecticut and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the University of Connecticut.
Welcome back to Raleigh, North Carolina, second round West Region. UConn, the 8th seed, Florida, the number 1 seed, and they're tied at 31 apiece. UConn had fallen behind quite a bit this season at halftime. 15 different times they had trailed, come back to win 8 times. Only tied once at halftime. That was way back in Maui. In Memphis, a 40-40 tie ended up in an overtime win by Memphis, who got bounced in the first round of this tournament. So UConn will defend to our right where the Florida bench is, and the Gators in their home whites trimmed in blue and orange will inbound the ball and work left to right. Walter Clayton Jr., guarded by Diarra. He passes to his right to Will Richard. Richard, the ball over his head now to Chinyulu. Now down the backdoor cut. They get it to Richard, and in and out. He missed the banker. Good help D by Sampson that time. It forced the shot a little bit higher on the glass. And UConn to our left in the front court. They get it to McNeely on the right wing. They work it out front to Caravan. Caravan in the paint. He's in trouble, and a foul is called. Or maybe not. What is that?
Looked to me like a held ball.
Yeah, Tommy Morrissey blew his whistle. I'm not sure.
UConn's got the arrow, so maybe that's all that was, a held ball. That rebound by Johnson at the other end, his 10th.
Well, that's a big day for anybody. All right, Diarra looking to get it in, and he gets it into Sampson on the right sideline. Gives to Diarra, who spins quickly at the hash. Dribble penetration, Hassan floater to Johnson, who'll throw it down. Slampson. That's our dime of the game, brought to you by Dime Bank. Community banking lives here. UConn's got a lead, 33-31. Florida, front court right is Walter Clayton Jr. Skips it left to Martin for 3. In and out. Rebound McNeely. Well, Martin had been red hot in the first half, misses his first shot of the second half. McNeely front court left Guarded by Martin. Kicks it right to Diarra. Diarra at the hash. On the right side of the court near the UConn bench. Starts to his left on the dribble penetration. Chinyulu cuts him off. They go down low to Sampson, who catches and lays it in. So Diarra with a couple of assists, and UConn 35-31.
He did not have an assist in the first half. He's got 2 each to Johnson here to start the second half. Biggest lead.
Clayton Jr. attacks the rim. Kicks to Condon. Into the paint on Sampson, and a foul is called on either Diarra or Sampson. Not sure. Hassan is raising his hand saying it was me. I'm not sure what they made for a call.
Johnson, third foul. That's why Hassan did it. He wanted the foul, didn't want Johnson to be named for number 3 because he's been really good both ends of the court.
They're talking it over, and so now we've seen this time and time again for the Huskies. The dual center combination is valuable because both of these guys are getting foul trouble in games, and UConn's forced to go to the bench. And fortunately, they have another center, Terrace Reed Jr., but he's got 2 fouls as he comes in.
Just played 2.5 minutes in the first half. Condon at the line leads them in free throw attempts because of plays like that. 153 attempts.
All right, Alex Condon made the first one. He is 92 of 150 coming into this one from the line. And Condon now gets his first point. Hauk comes in. Thomas Hauk, the sophomore forward.
And Condon averages 11 points a game, so that's the job UConn's bigs have done on him.
And that one rolls off the rim. It's loose. Tapped by Caravan in the hands of Solo Ball, and Solo to the front court. Starts to his right, into the paint. Bounce pass down low to Diarra, laid it in, and he's fouled. The Junkyard Dog grinding it out in the paint. And UConn gets a chance for a 3-point play. And the bench erupts over there, across from us. Oh, man. I just saw 15 guys jump off their bench seats as Diarra attacked the 10 and laid it in.
Boy, this goes back to the end of the first half when he put up that desperation shot from 3, well beyond the arc as the shot clock was going to go down. And now he starts the second half with 2 assists and 1 field goal and a chance to add a free throw on the first foul by Hauk.
And he's got it. So Hassan, the 3 to end the half. And a 3-pointer there, 6 points for him. 2 minutes gone by here in the second half. UConn 38-32. Here's Elijah Martin between the rings on a bounce pass to Clayton Jr. Backdoor cut Condon. He attacks Harris, can't get the shot off. Clayton fires, loose ball, and Reed came up with it. Terrace, like a big bear, hugging the ball, and he hands it to Diarra. Hassan to the front court. Between the rings, he's guarded by Martin, the grad guard, and he fires it right to McNeely. McNeely left-hand dribble to Reed, and now he skips it over to Diarra on the left sideline. Out front, Solo, long 3. In and out, and a rebound by Condon. He was way up there. Here come the Gators on a run out. Martin runs over Ball, and they call a block. Oh, man. Wow, I don't know what Ball could have done differently. I really don't. They call a foul on Ball. So Solo, he did slide over. Now we get the review. The videotape always, it never lies.
Solo's 0 for 6 from the floor, 0 for 5 from 3. In each of these NCAA tournament games, UConn has had shooters that have really been off. Obviously, the last 2 games, Liam McNeely's been off, 8 for 33. The prior 2, including the final game of the Big East tournament. He's been better today, but Ball hasn't got a field goal yet.
Martin missed the free throw. Went in and out. It was halfway down.
74% on the year.
That's their second miss. They're 8 for 10.
Yeah, they were 7 of 7 in the first half.
Elijah Martin, who averages 14.5, 4.5 rebounds.
He had that tremendous start. Couple of layups.
Oh, he missed them both, and Terrace Reed got the rebound. That one was short. He short-armed it a little bit. All right, UConn by 6, 17-20 to go in the ball game. This is Diarra, starts to his right on the right sideline. They get it to McNeely. They dump it down low to Reed. Reed trying to work his way against Condon. Spins, ducks under, puts it up, in and out. Rebound Hauk. Outlet Clayton Jr. Tries to attack McNeely. Can't get a shot off. Deals it back to Hauk. Lost it. McNeely dives for it. Florida comes up with it. Clayton Jr. has it. He hands over to Condon. Outside the arc on the left wing. Condon backs away with 10 to go, and he gives it to Clayton Jr. Caravan guards him. Now Clayton Jr. starts back to his left. Wants to get a shot off. You can feel it. Here it is over Caravan. Oh, and a foul is called on Caravan on a three-point field goal attempt. And Dan Hurley's sitting on the bench really ripping mad.
Well, he was almost to midcourt calling out a defensive play. The fist was up. That's a signal for a defensive position for them. And after that foul on Caravan, he turned his back and stomped back and sat down on the bench.
Yeah, I don't know.
Caravan's second foul.
I think Alex crowded him just a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I would have called that one. I gotta say.
I thought we had 2 fouls on Caravan in the first half. They must have changed it to somebody because he's only got 2 now.
All right, Clayton Jr. gets 3 free throws. Alex is upset, and I don't blame him because he tried to avoid, and the miss by Clayton Jr.
Well, there's justice.
That's called poetic justice. All right, he gets 2 more, though.
They've kept him in check. He had a slow start to the game. Their leading scorers only got 8 points, 2 of 8 shooting.
And this one is good. 38-33 as Aberdeen's going to come in and replace Elijah Martin, the grad guard. And Aberdeen is from Orlando, Florida. He's a junior, 6'5", 190, averages 8 points. Clayton Jr., another opportunity on the line, and this one is up and good. So 2 of 3 on the three-point attempt and the foul by Caravan. All right, we get three-quarter pressure by Florida. McNeely, double-teamed in trouble, gets it to Ball. Ball ahead to Reed. Reed on the left baseline with Houck in front of him. Hands back to Diarra in the near corner right in front of us. And Diarra guarded by Houck, spins on Houck, into the paint, backdoor cut, Caravan, layup good! Oh, a deuce! And what a pass by Diarra! A bounce pass to the cutting Caravan.
Wow, has Diarra been good here early second half.
40-34, UConn, 9 by Caravan. All right, Clayton Jr. between the rings, gives up left to Richard. Richard outside the arc with a right-hand dribble, almost stolen by Reed. Had to be retrieved by Condon. Condon now working on Reed. They go backdoor to Clayton Jr. on the baseline. He fires it outside, stolen by McNeely. McNeely on the attack on Richard. He laid it up, he missed it. Oh, he had a shot at a deuce and couldn't get it to go. Condon back the other way, front court right. Here's Richard with McNeely on him. Out front to Alex Condon. Condon goes behind his back trying to attack Reed. Hands it over to Richard who launches a three and hits it. 40-37. And a timeout's been called. The under 16, UConn's lead has been cut to 3. It was 6. They got the 3 right there from Will Richard, the senior transfer from Belmont. And Richard, the timeout has been called by Florida, actually, with 15-18 to go in the game. And UConn leading 40-37. Tuesday, weather permitting, we'll begin our coverage of UConn baseball on the UConn Sports Network. The Huskies host the Boston College Eagles. Elliott Ballpark. Pregame coverage begins at Tuesday at 2:45 on the flagship 97.9 Fox Sports in Hartford and AM 1300. I'll be there with Bob Joyce. Plus the iHeart and Varsity apps. We'll have that one, and then we'll go to Boston and see the Huskies take on Northeastern on Wednesday. Again, weather permitting. You're listening to UConn men's basketball in Learfield. The Huskies lead it here 40-37 with 15-18 to go. It's presented by Brown, Payne, Darris, and Scott.
Are you traveling out of Bradley Airport and need a safe, reliable place to park your car? Trust your vehicle to Laz Fly Off-Airport Parking, located on Route 75 in Windsor Locks. They have both valet and self-park options to fit any budget. Laz Fly is open 24 hours a day and will get you to the airport on time, every time. Join their loyalty program to earn points for free parking, and be sure to ask about their corporate discounts. Save 20% by pre-booking online at lazfly.com. Laz Fly is the official parking company and a proud supporter of UConn Athletics.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
Aw, shucks, the game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters. Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
The Huskies live here. You're listening to play-by-play coverage of UConn men's basketball, presented by KeyBank.
How'd you like to be able to listen to us while synced up to your TV in the comfort of your own home? It's easy. Go to syncmygame.com. That's SYNC, mygame.com, to find out how. UConn by 3, 40-37, with 15-18 to go here against Florida at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Gators shooting 1 of 4 in the second half. They missed their first 3 shots before that three-pointer a moment ago by Richard that cut it down to a 3-point game. Huskies, though, starting off 4 for 7. They scored the last 3 points of the first half on that shot by Diarra, so it's now a 10-1 UConn run. Well, it was a 10-1 UConn run before that 3 by Richard.
Huskies inbound to our right. It'll be three-quarter pressure by the Gators. McNeely and Diarra able to beat it. Diarra in the front court left, skips in the near corner to Ball. Ball out front to Diarra. He starts back to his right with a right-hand dribble. He's picked up there by Aberdeen, and a deflected ball on a lazy pass by Haas, and all the way to the basket. Richard tried to dunk it, and a foul is called. No basket.
I think Reed got him, so there's more foul difficulties for the Sax man.
No, it was Diarra.
Okay,
Diarra reached in.
Well, I think Reed thought maybe it was on him, either way he looked around, but that's actually a good thing for UConn. Only the first on Hassan.
But that is the 4th team foul on UConn. The under-16 timeout here after Florida called that last timeout. UConn leading 40-37. The unexpected happens every day. When it does, head to Kohl's and Kohl's.com for everything your family needs. Kohl's, where families come first. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield. UConn by 3. Under 15 minutes to go here in the second round at Raleigh. It's presented by Brown Penderis and Scott.
Hi, this is Nick Kaplanson from Dime Bank. To win a championship, it takes more than just good players and coaches. It takes a whole community dedicated to the same goal. The same is true when it comes to banking. A successful banking relationship is built from a community fully dedicated to meeting the banking needs of its customers. If you're ready to experience a better approach to banking, come join our community at Dime. It's your bank, your choice, your Dime.
Dime Bank. Community banking lives here. Member FDIC.
Heard from Danbury to Norwich. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
To put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Looking for a great golf club to join this season? Look no further than Wallingford Country Club. $2 million in course improvements. They've been busy there. And no tee times. That's the beauty. Visit wallingfordcc.com. UConn by 3. Just under 15 minutes left in this one.
Well, we know that Connecticut is the basketball capital of the world. Just ask anybody in Connecticut. And that got accentuated with Trinity's Division III National Championship. They knocked off the number 1 team in the nation, NYU, 64-60. So hats off to the Bantams of Trinity, Division III national champions. Early on, UConn was taking a lot of threes, missing a lot of threes. You could make an argument they were settling for threes and not working the ball inside. They're 4 for 19 outside the arc. But in the second half, they're 4 for 7 overall, only 1 3. They've been much more effective getting the ball inside, and that's not just to the bigs, although Johnson does have a couple of field goals in the second half. So that's been a bit of a change in the offensive look for UConn since that cold start outside the arc.
Will Richard makes the first free throw. Mike Crispino, Wayne Norman, and our engineer John Ashmead are here in Raleigh at Lenovo Center. First and second rounds of the West Region. The number 1 seed, Florida, as Richard makes both free throws, has cut the lead now to 40-39 with 14:50 to go in the game. UConn by 1. Here's Ball in the corner for 3. Got it! Oh, man, what a delivery by Alex Caravan. Get it to the open man. He's going to make it eventually. Ball hits it. UConn up by 4, 43-39.
He's 1 for 7 now.
Clayton Jr. gives it to Condon, wants to move on. Reed spins him down low, posting him up, drives his left shoulder, hands it off to Richard. Richard able to reverse it home, and the lead is 2, 43-41.
Richard has scored the last 7 points for Florida.
All right, DR across the timeline, right to left. On the right sideline, he's guarded by Richard, the bigger man. They hand it over on the high post to Terrace Reed Jr. Back to Caravan for 3. Oh, he gave it up. Now the pick and roll run by Caravan, out of bounds, knocked out by Florida with 9 to shoot. 14 minutes left in the game. Reed tried to get it to Alex on a backdoor cut, but a good defensive play made by Thomas Houck.
But conversely, Alex was looking to shoot from the left wing, and he saw Terrace Reed there. Instead, he dished it off to him. The ball got deflected, and eventually UConn retained possession.
All right, DR to inbound the ball. He looks, and now he's in trouble. He gets it to Reed. Reed in the paint on Richard, and he is fouled. Oh, the big man determined right there as the Gators collapsed on him, and he's smart enough to draw the contact. Now he gets to earn the points at the free throw line with UConn leading by 2.
Stat program says the foul is on Terrace Reed Jr., his third. That would be incorrect, though.
All right, Reed on the line. First of 2 free throws. That one is up, and good. It rimmed in there. Jalen Stewart comes in. He played well in the minutes he played in the first half. Jalen had 10 minutes. He scored 6 points.
All right, they fixed it. The foul is on Richard. Not an issue, though. It's just his first. And he's been a guy that's been hot here in the second half.
All right, Reed gets another opportunity. And this one is up, and that one is off the back rim. Rebounded by Houck. 44-41 UConn. 6 minutes going by in the second half. Here's Walter Clayton Jr. Front court right, guarded by Diarra. Back up front to Houck. He drives on Reed. All the way to the basket. Trying to reverse shot. And a foul is called. I don't know. I don't see that one as Houck literally missed the free throw. I missed the reverse layup, and the foul is on Terrace Reed. No, I don't know. I don't know where it is. I don't see it.
All right, so now it is the third foul on Reed. It was wrong and listed before, and they're going to bring Samson Johnson back in. He's got 3. And that could be a difference in this game with UConn's bigs both in foul trouble. Florida's got the size inside to make you pay for that. They already have.
Sampson goes back to the bench. They're not going to bring him in. They're going to make Reed play with 3, and let's see if he can gut it out for another 10 minutes or so. Houck made the first free throw. 81%. He averages 9.5 points. That one's short. Rebounded by Reed.
Good jinx.
So Florida's missed a couple of them. They're now 13 of 18. UConn 7 of 9.
They're 6 of 11 in the line of the second half.
Diarra front court right, out front to Caravan. Takes a handoff back. He starts to his left. Spins right. Gives to Reed at the high post right. Terrace on a hand up the ball. No, he didn't give it to him. He keeps it. He gives to Stewart. Stewart. Crossover, top of the key, down low to Reed, and Reed is fouled by Houck. So Terrace Reed has become a real problem for the Gators. If you get the ball down to him, you better get on him because he's such a big man. That is a third team foul on Florida. That is Houck's second.
Spelled H-A-U-G-H, even though it's pronounced like the former Yankee manager.
All right. They get it into Caravan. He skips it on the ball. Tough shot by Ball. Got knocked down. Rebounded by Diarra. Missed the layup. Reed attacks, and Reed laid it in. Oh, the big bad Terrace Reed Jr. T-Rex. And UConn has the lead. They extend to 46-42.
Third chance basket. Those was offensive rebounds again.
Here's Aberdeen. Front court right, outside the arc. Out by Diarra. Out front to Hauk. Wants to go down low to the big man, but he can't get it to him. He gives to a shot missed by Richard. A three-pointer way short. Boarded by Caravan. Caravan's got 4 boards. Here's Diarra. Front court left quickly. Being guarded by Martin. Hands to Caravan. Skips it left to Stewart. Stewart keeps his dribble, starts right, back to Ball along the baseline, and Ball saves it. What a play that was. He was going to go out of bounds, but he threw it off of Elijah Martin, and UConn maintains possession.
He had to leap up in front of the UConn bench while he was falling out of bounds, made a one-hand grab, threw it back off Martin, UConn possession.
Yeah,
what a play by Ball.
Not a great pass by Jalen Stewart. He really put Ball in a bad spot there. Mahaney comes in for Diarra here.
Ball's out too.
Ball talking to Kamani Young, the associate head coach. Mahaney gets it into McNeely. McNeely on a handoff to Caravan. Long three by Alex. Back rim, no good. Missed everything. Stewart tried to come up with a rebound, but Richard got it. Will Richard. He outflips to Aberdeen, who tries to attack Mahaney. Tries a bad reverse shot. Rebounded by Reed. What a wild shot that time by Aberdeen. 5 boards for Reed. 12 minutes to go. UConn 46-42. Mahaney starts back to his left and now right. Guarded by Aberdeen all the way to the basket. Lays it up and in. Oh, Mahaney cut through the defense for a layup. 48-42 UConn.
Equals the biggest lead.
Aberdeen, the junior, has it with Stewart in front of him. Aberdeen looks right. He skips it over to Elijah Martin. He wants to shoot, you can tell. It's outside the arc, guarded by McNeely. Out front to Hamilton. Now it's Aberdeen. Puts it on the floor on the left side. Cut off there by Stewart. Now they're down to 6. They're down to 5. Aberdeen trying to blow by Stewart. Tough shot on the baseline. Good. Oh, what a play by Denzel Aberdeen. A 12-footer on the baseline. And that cuts the lead back to 4, 48-44. UConn leading the number 1 seed with 11:25 to go in the ballgame. So it is a timeout under 12 minutes left in the game. UConn basketball presented in part by JT Gummo, the suit store, your destination for sharp, custom-tailored suits that make a statement. Dress your best with JT Gummo. Full timeout called by Florida with 11:25 to go. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, and the Huskies by 4 in this round 2 game in the West region. They're presented by Brown, Payne, Darris, and Scott.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids dealing with unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness or disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Help us get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org. Team Impact. All in, all together.
Planning a move? Let Lippincott Van Lines, the official mover of the UConn Huskies, take the worry and stress out of your relocation. Whether you're moving across the country, across the world, or just across the street, Lippincott Van Lines will handle your packing, moving, and storage needs with the care and quality they deserve. If the UConn Huskies football team can trust Lippincott to get their gear to the field on time, you can trust them to get your items where they need to be. Call Lippincott Van Lines today for a free estimate at 800-245-8563.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
whoa, my kid's got a serious backhand,
can lead to an even bigger question like,
tennis camp is how much?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you to help you build a savings plan for expenses big and small so your money can make money. Mike, how's that sound?
Sounds like match point.
Sounds like love.
We could serve up tennis puns all day.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank member FDIC.
This is UConn men's basketball, presented by KeyBank. Now back to our broadcast location.
The 2025 UConn football schedule is out. Huskies host 6 home games in the fall at Rentschler Field. Head coach Jim Moore and the Huskies are coming off a 2024 season. They finished with 9 wins, most since 2007. And, of course, that victory in the Fenway Bowl. Become a UConn football season ticket holder by visiting UConnHuskies.com/football. Season tickets start $99. Be there for tailgating, football, and affordable family fun of UConn football at the Rent. Visit UConnHuskies.com/football to become a UConn football season ticket holder today. And we need them. We need people in the stands for Jim Moore's club when they start again next fall.
Both teams shooting 38%, but UConn 54% in the second half until they've gotten back in this. They had built a lead up to 6 a couple times here in the second half, including a couple minutes ago. And they trailed by 6 early, even though they shot so poorly to start. So they're in this thing. Bill Murray, whose son Luke is a UConn assistant coach, being shown. That's what the applause you're hearing in the background. Is UConn the only Big East team left standing in the NCAA and hanging in there?
All right, they beat full court pressure. Mahaney, front court left. Kicks it on the right sideline to Caravan. Out front to Reed. Reed pitches it left to Mahaney. All outside the perimeter of the three-point line. Here's McNeely with it. Straight on the basket, fires right on the wing to Caravan. They go down low to Reed. Reed faces up on his man, spins on the baseline, works hard, puts up a floater, back rim no good, and rebounded by Florida.
That was really good defense by the big Hanlogan.
Here comes Clayton Jr., front court right. Picked up by Caravan on a switch. They got Houck for 3, long one, no good. Tipped up, no good, twice, and who got it? Oh, Reed. And he got knocked down, and there's a foul call. Boy, Florida had 2 point-blank chances off the missed 3, and Todd Golden's really upset. That call went UConn's way, and thankfully because the Huskies were getting beat on the boards pretty badly right there.
Notice how that last timeout was called by Florida. Todd Golden's called 2 timeouts here in the second half. They've only got 1 left.
Yeah, that could be a factor. UConn's got 3. Here's McNeely across the timeline. Out front to Mahaney on the right wing. Gets it back. McNeely dribbles right. He's guarded by Richard, the bigger man. McNeely 6'7". Out front to Mahaney. Reed sets him a screen. Mahaney can't get the shot off. Now he does get the shot off, and it's blocked, but he's fouled. Clayton Jr. got him. So Mahaney on the line to shoot 3 here. And Mahaney playing some key minutes with Diarra on the bench. Hassan only 1 foul. He's got 6 points, 3 assists.
One guy that's been quiet in the second half for UConn has been Liam McNeely. He's 3 for 11 from the floor, 1 of 6 from 3. We've played almost 10 minutes in the second half. He's taken 1 shot and missed it. I think that poor shooting, not just today, but the last 2 games coming in, have made him reticent here to shoot, although he has passed the ball fairly well.
I like that analysis, Wayne, but shooters shoot. And he's got to keep doing it.
Well, that's what Ball did, and he finally made one.
That was an excellent theory right there. Strategy by Solo. Just keep shooting until the ball goes in. 2 free throws made by Mahaney.
Foul was on Clayton. It's only his first. He's their leading scorer, assist man.
He stays in as Mahaney gets another chance.
Mahaney's now hit 9 of his last 10 free throws over 8 games.
And that one's up. No good. And rebounded by Chinyulu. 50-44, UConn with the lead.
Huskies back to their biggest lead.
All right, here's Condon on a hand up to Richard. They're going to weave outside the arc to Clayton Jr. Picked up by Reed. Clayton Jr. pounds it down low to Chinyulu for a dunk. 50-46, UConn by 4. Mahaney down to the timeline. He's guarded by Martin. Starts back to his right. And Mahaney gives it up on a left sideline to Reed. Reed on a handoff to McNeely. McNeely starts to his left. They double him. It's Reed looking to hand it off to Caravan. Long 3 by Alex. Back rim no good. And Stewart tips it to Mahaney. They get it back. Here's McNeely into the paint. Dumps to Reed. Oh, Reed! And I think that's goaltending. I believe it is. And they're going to count the basket as Reed went up and the ball went down the cylinder and back out again.
Backboard still shaking. So it is That was for Reed, right? The stats gave it to McNeely. I don't think so.
Should be Reed, yeah.
McNeely got his in the first half.
Oh, yeah. What happened is the Florida defender put his hand up through the net inside the cylinder, and that's goaltending. So UConn by 6, 52-46. Florida with the ball in the right front court. It's Clayton Jr. on a drive inside. He lays it up left-handed, missed it. Reed got it. Reed with another rebound. Diarra ahead to Stewart. Stewart attacks, try to reverse it. No. Rebounded by Chinyulu. Quickly to the front court right. It's Martin isolated with Diarra. Starts to his left. He lost the ball. He regains it. Fires it left to Clayton Jr. Clayton Jr. now looking pick and roll. They go to Condon against Reed. And a dunk by Chinyulu. As Reed, playing with 3 fouls, did not want to get his fourth. 52-48 UConn, 8:40 to go. Timeout called by the Huskies.
That was good big-to-big passing inside. You had 2 bigs on one defender, Reed, and Reed couldn't cover them both, and they got the dunk out of that.
So the timeout by Dan Hurley, I think it looks like a 30 right now with 8:37 to go. And it is a 30. And I think UConn have it side out in their front court on the left sideline right in front of us. So the Huskies, no men in double figures yet. They have McNeely and Caravan with 9, 8 by Samson Johnson, and then 6 each by Jalen Stewart and Hassan Diarra, and 5 by Solo Ball and Terrace Reed, and 4 by Aiden Mahaney.
Last 2 field goals by Florida by 6'10", 260-pound Ruben Chinyello. He had foul trouble, 3 fouls in the first half, so he's been quiet. He averages 6 points a game, and those back-to-back field goals give him 6. We're a few seats down here on press row in Raleigh from UConn Athletic Director David Benedict, who just this week was named the National Athletic Director of the Year. So hats off to the AD from UConn, whose teams have been very successful over the last couple of years.
All right, Samson Johnson comes in for Reed here. And it'll be Diarra, Caravan, McNeely, Samson Johnson, and Solo Ball.
Huskies need more from Caravan. He's missed a couple of shots recently. 1 for 7 from 3. McNeely 1 for 6. Ball 1 for 7, all from 3.
All right, he enters to Diarra. Diarra outside the arc on the left, now back to his right. Kicks it left to Sampson. Sampson with a handoff to Ball. Ball long 3. In and out. And rebounded by Florida. Ball continues to struggle. 1 for 8 from 3. Got to get something to go for Solo with 8:15 to go, and UConn leading by 4. 52-48.
That was a deep 3, too.
It was. It was maybe outside his range. I don't know. Here's Will Richard, left sideline. Picks up his dribble, fires it low to Chinyulu. Chinyulu trying to post up Johnson. Can't do it. He gives it back to Walter Clayton Jr., and he knocks down a 3. Now Florida within 1, 52-51, under 8 minutes to go. The Florida crowd gets into it. They sit behind their bench, across from us. Diarra back to McNeely. McNeely puts it on the floor. He attacks Chinyulu, and he got his shot blocked partially by Condon. Here come the Gators. Martin to the basket, missed the dunk. Rebound McNeely, and he's fouled. Oh, Elijah Martin tried to rise up from about 15 feet away on the left side of the lane and missed the dunk. And UConn rebounded it, and a foul was called on the Gators. And the Huskies maintain their lead, 52-50. Apparently, Wayne, that was a 2-pointer by Clayton Jr. a moment ago. I called it as a 3. It's in the right corner down from us. But they only gave him 2, so it's 52-50, UConn by 2. The UConn basketball sponsored by UConn Health, the official healthcare provider of the UConn Athletics. Make their doctors your doctors. We pause 10 seconds for station ID. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown Paint Harrison Scott.
Is your retirement game plan a well-executed play or a Hail Mary pass? Hi, I'm Jake Dozer, Certified Financial Planner. At Johnson Brunetti, we've helped over 5,000 families prepare for and live in retirement. And now we're proud to be the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. Visit us at johnsonbrunetti.com and get free financial planning books and resources. Johnson Brunetti, Retirement and Investment Specialists.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Heard from Bridgeport to Willimantic. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song.
I love these nachos.
I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy.
What's your name?
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Well, if the Huskies advance today, we're back with you Thursday from San Francisco's Sweet 16 game in the West region. Stay tuned for your UConn Sports Network affiliate or social media for game time. Of course, we'll start it with a Hard Auto Group countdown to tip approximately 30 to 35 minutes prior to the tip. And UConn right now with a 1-point lead. I want to correct what I corrected, which was
what?
That it was a 3-point field goal. Then I said it was a 2-point field goal. You can't trust me. And then it's now a 3-point field goal by Walter Clayton Jr. a moment ago. So that means the lead for UConn is 1.
Huskies had a 6-point lead, but it's now a 7-2 run. Florida's as close as they've been since it was 40-39. Now it's 52-51.
All right, Diarra across the timeline, guarded by Elijah Martin. Kicks it right to Caravan, takes a handoff back. He's outside the arc on the right to Samson Johnson, back to Hassan. They skip it to Caravan for 3. That time he knocks it down. Bullseye by Caravan, and UConn's up 55-51.
Diarra, all 4 of his assists coming in the second half.
Walter Clayton Jr. on a high post bounce pass to Alex Condon. Now he gives it up to Chinyulu. He dribbles to his right and he hands off to Will Richard. He attacks ball into the paint. That's got to be traveling. Oh, they call a foul. Man. Out of control. Will Richard got bailed out that time with under 7 minutes to go on a foul call.
Solo Ball gets his second. His back was to the hoop when he lost his dribble, lost his balance. They're saying it was because of Solo Ball.
All right, both teams have 16 fouls now. Walter Clayton Jr. trying to get it in. He does get it in to Elijah Martin, who attacks McNeely. The ball is stripped. Ball dives for it. Richard came up with it for 3, and he makes it. Wow. What a lucky bounce that time by the Gators. They're back within 1, 55-54.
Wow, he's been huge in the second half.
All right, Diarra out front to Caravan, front court left. Reed on the high post left. Spins and dribbles with his left hand. Now back to his right hand and hands to Caravan. Caravan works on Richard. Backs away and gives to McNeely. McNeely trying to go down low to Reed. Can't get it to him. Now he does on a bounce. Reed spins on Chinyulu. He puts it up. No foul call. And a loose ball rebound. Diarra. Back to Ball. Now Caravan for 3. No, off the left side. No good. Batted around and rebounded by Will Richard.
I give Reed some credit. That ball was way outside his shooting range. 1 second on the clock. He had to shoot it.
Had to shoot it. There was contact, no whistle. Here's Clayton Jr. to the basket. Missed the layup. Chinyulu. Hook shot, no good. Foul on Reed. And UConn's upset. I mean, bodies are flying all over the place. A lot of out-of-control offensive plays like that one from Chinyulu. And he's going to go to the line to try to give Florida the lead with 5:50 to go in the game.
Well, that's 4 fouls now on Terrace Reed Jr., so the Huskies in some big trouble. 3 already for Johnson, 4 fouls on Reed. And Reed's been good here in the second half, all 5 of his points.
Well, it was chaos down there, and Reed was bumping with Chinyulu. Chinyulu coming into this game, 26 of 45 from the line, and he gets a free throw. This one's up and no good off the back rim. So Husky lead is still 1. Johnson in, Reed out.
To do the math on those numbers, 60% on the season. So the right guy at the line if you're UConn.
All right, gets another opportunity. Ruben Chinyulu. Shot up, no good. Rebounded by Caravan. UConn maintains a 1-point lead. 5 boards by Caravan. Here's Diarra into the front court on the right sideline of ball. Ball being hounded by Carter Jr. Gets back to Diarra. Florida really getting physical defensively. Here's Diarra off a handoff on the right sideline from Johnson. Looks, now kicks it out front to Sampson. Sampson with a dribble and a handoff to Caravan. Caravan puts it on the floor. Caravan puts it up, and he's fouled. The ball goes in the basket off the glass, but they're calling it before the shot. Oh, I wish we were in the NBA right now, because that was an NBA and one if I've ever seen one. Caravan driving. Hauk hit him. I don't know. To me, he took half a step and put it up. Caravan on the line.
That's 3 fouls on the 6'9" Thomas Hauk, the sophomore from Pennsylvania.
Well, Caravan's done a good job all year on those kind of plays, getting himself to the line, and the free throw's good. UConn maintains the lead, 56-54.
He was 2 for 4 from the line against Oklahoma on Friday, but before that he was 26 of 27, so here's a guy you want at the line.
Caravan gets another one. That one's good. So Alex, 14 points, leads the way. UConn hanging on, 57-54 lead, 5:20 to go. Walter Clayton Jr. left to right, gives to Richard. They pound it down low to Condon on the high post right. Out front it comes to Hauk. Hauk guarded by Caravan. Back to Richard. Steps behind the arc. They go pick and roll to Condon, and they get it to work. He dunks it home, and it's a 1-point game again. 57-56.
Lane was wide open that time as Johnson was hedging on the perimeter.
Yeah, the pick and roll defense there was not up to snuff, that's for sure. There's Diarra on the right sideline, hands the ball. Out front, Caravan gives back to Diarra. Diarra spins to his right, guarded by Clayton Jr. Now McNeely, and McNeely is tripped by Richard, who slid down and on the floor, and that's going to put McNeely on the line to shoot 1-and-1. So that's a break for the Huskies right in front of us, Wayne. Richard was trying to defend. He slipped. He undercut McNeely, and McNeely goes to the line to shoot 1-and-1.
It was inadvertent. He was already on the floor when McNeely was moving over to his left, and he just tripped over him, not looking for a shot. So that's 2 fouls on Richard, who's had this huge second half. Richard has had 10 of his 12 points in the second half and really was their only offense for a while early this half.
All right, McNeely on the line. It's a 1-and-1. First one up. Good. UConn's got to make them. You get down the stretch, crunch time, you got to make them, and he did.
He was the second best free throw shooter in the Big East this year, and he's number 3 on UConn's career free throw shooting list, 86%. I know he's only played 1 year, but he's on that list.
2 for 2. UConn maintains 59-56 lead, 4:40 to go. Walter Clayton Jr. across the line, and the ball tipped loose by Diarra, almost stole it. He hands to Richard, who circles left outside the arc. Now Clayton Jr. Spin, drive, he attacks, he fades, he shoots, he makes on the baseline from 12 feet away. Walter Clayton Jr.'s got 15. It's a 1-point game, 59-58. UConn by 1. Diarra out front to Samson Johnson at the timeline, gives the ball. Ball starts right. Picked up by Hauk on a switch, gets it back. He's now back to his left, skips it to Caravan. Caravan died to the diving Samson Johnson, and he's fouled. Walter Clayton Jr. tried to draw a foul, but he couldn't get in position, so Sampson goes to the line, and he'll shoot 2. He put it up off the glass and couldn't quite make it. But 2 free throws coming for Samson Johnson.
Just the second foul on Clayton, who's got 15 points after he made that last field goal. He averages 17.7 a game, 6th most in the SEC.
And Sampson knocks down the first one. Every point critical now for UConn. The Gators have made 5 of their last 7 field goals, and they're within 2. Sampson got it, 2 for 2 for Sam.
Winningest 4-year player in UConn history, making some big shots.
10 and 10, he got a double-double. Here's Clayton Jr. The high post hand up to Hauk, guarded by Caravan, left of the lane, back to Condon, guarded by Johnson, hands off to Clayton Jr. They fire it left, stolen by Caravan. Outlet, Diarra. Diarra wants to attack, kicks it back to Ball instead, and the ball knocked out of bounds off solo ball. as Richard made a nice play there. I don't know about that, but
Ball was complaining to the official, Courtney Green, and Dan Hurley came over and said, Solo, get out of the way. I'll take over. And right now, he's in the face of Courtney Green, trying to argue the case for UConn.
Well, for comprehensive coverage of college basketball, tune to Sirius XM, and John and I were listening to it on the way back yesterday, and St. John's lost. Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84 in the car, and on the new Sirius XM app. Sirius XM, the home of your favorite team and conference, including live games, interviews, analysis. Cheer along with your team, the SiriusXM app, and listen to your favorite team anywhere. Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025. UConn 61-58, 3:41 to go. They lead Florida, the number 1 seed, here in Raleigh. And you're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown, Panderas, and Scott.
Passion, the tradition, the rivalries. Sirius XM is your destination for all things college sports. And we've got you covered on Sirius XM College Sports Radio. There's complete coverage of every major conference, plus live games and 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the Sirius XM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of Sirius XM free. Subscribe now and see offer details at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 25.
Power Station Events is the official production partner of the UConn Huskies, the ultimate one-stop source featuring audio, video, lighting, staging, talented DJs and musicians, photography and videography, stunning decor and florals, and much more. As we celebrate our 40th anniversary, we want to thank UConn Nation as we look forward to the next 40 years. Visit us at powerstationevents.com and let us help you plan your next awesome event.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
The UConn Huskies are on the air. You're listening to UConn men's basketball, presented by KeyBank. Now back to our broadcast location.
Mike Crispino along with Wayne Norman here at Raleigh, a second rounder in the West Region. UConn leads 61-58 over Florida. Stay with us after the game. The Hart Auto Group post-game show, highlights, interviews, stats, scores, coming your way courtesy of the Hart Auto Group. Shop Hart Auto Group. We treat you like family. We're only a heartbeat away. HartCars.com.
Now, that timeout was set up before that turnover by Solo Ball. That's just UConn's 5th turnover. They had 3 in the first half, only 2 in the second half. Another reason why the Huskies have maintained the lead for much of this second half. And also for Florida, they had a lot of turnovers early. They had 6 in the first 8 minutes. They've only got 11 right now, too. So both teams taking pretty good care of the ball lately. Huskies have had several leads of 6, and they've had 6 opportunities to expand that, and each time they don't succeed.
And now Clayton Jr. dribbles across the timeline, gives it up to Alex Condon, top of the arc. Condon back to Clayton Jr. They pound it down low. They get it to Condon, and what happened? A whistle blew, and I think it's on Samson Johnson's 4th foul. Wow, UConn's really up against it now. 4 on both of their bigs. I mean, the only option is Jalen Stewart for Dan Hurley, and that was kind of a ticky-tack foul on the baseline as Condon made a catch on a bounce pass.
And the UConn bigs have taken pretty good care of 6'11", 230 Condon, who averages 11 points a game. He's only had 1 field goal, only 2 shots. The field goal came a few minutes ago.
Free throw's good. Florida, 13 of 20. They'd missed 7. UConn, 15 of 18, missed 3.
That's actually pretty good for UConn. The opponent only shooting 3 more free throws. It's been usually much more of an advantage for the opponent.
Yeah, on the season, they're minus 64 in terms of makes. So Condon, another opportunity. Here it is. And no good off the front rim. Rebounded by Ball. And so UConn, 2-point lead, 61-59. 3.5 to go. Solo into the front court. Kicks it out to McNeely. McNeely starts left and hands to Diarra. Diarra circles right outside the arc. Keeps his dribble. Looking to get it to Caravan. He does. Caravan drives to the basket, puts it up, and no foul call. He threw up an air ball on a layup. And here comes Clayton Jr. He has it on the right wing, picked up by Caravan. Throws up a three. Good. And Florida gets the lead, 62-61. 2:45 to go. Clayton Jr.'s got 18. The Florida crowd is rowdy. Here's McNeely on the right sideline. Oh, they had Samson Johnson open. Now a steal. Will Richard on a breakout and a dunk. And a timeout called by Dan Hurley. And Florida, and Alex Caravan complaining. You never see that.
Because he thought on that missed layup he was hit hard. Coach Hurley giving it to Tommy Morrissey.
Well, the timeout's been called. 64-61. Florida gets the lead back on a Walter Clayton three. They've scored 6 in a row in the past minute. They've made 4 field goals in a row. UConn, meanwhile, one of 7.
Huskies have pretty much taken the fast break away from Florida, which averages 17 fast break points a game, second most of the country, tops in the SEC. They have 8 in this game, and there was 2 points right there. The Richard steal, fast break dunk, after he got the steal off McNeely.
Just 8 fast break points by Florida in this game, 16 on average, 16.5 on the season. They've also averaged 85.5 points a game. That's third in the United States in offense. So UConn's got them in a game in the 60s. Can they finish the job? Terrace Reid will come in.
Florida's made its last 4 shots. They're on a 6-0 run, and the Huskies have missed 6 of the last 7 shots.
Caravan inbound the ball in the back court, I believe.
27 to 2:29.
They reset the clock to 2:29. A couple seconds ticked off. UConn down now by 3. The Florida crowd really up in arms.
UConn's biggest deficit of the second half.
Here's Diarra across the timeline on the right sideline and hand up the ball out front to Caravan. They kick it over to Hassan Diarra. And out front to Reed. Reed on a handoff to Ball. Solo for 3. Got it! And we're even! Oh! Solo! A solo emergence! That was huge. 64 apiece.
Mike, I really think this game's going to come down to UConn's ability to finally make a 3. They're now 26%, 7 of 27. They've had open looks, haven't gone in. They just made one there. They're back in it.
All right, Clayton Jr. to front court. Gives it up to Hauk outside the arc. Now Condon, guarded by Reed. Spins on Reed, can't go by him. And now a foul on Diarra, who ran into him.
Kind of lost his balance and fell into him. Only the second foul on Hassan.
That's the 9th team foul. Both teams with 9 team fouls, so it's still 1-1 here. Now we go double bonus after this.
That 3 by Solo Ball, the assist was by the big man, Terrace Reed Jr.
Now Hassan's second foul, personal foul. So Condon on the line to try to give Florida the lead.
He just went 1 for 2 a moment ago. In the game, he's 2 for 4.
Wears pink shoes. A lot of guys doing that these days. Free throw good. Florida with a 1-point lead, 65-64. 1:52 remaining.
Well, we're in the Kay Yao town here. Kay Yao died of breast cancer a couple years after she lost to UConn in the Sweet 16 out in Fresno. And, of course, they have the big Play for Kay thing with women's basketball, a cancer fundraiser.
Condon's got 5 points. He tries to give his team a 2-point lead. Here it is. Free throw up, and no good, short, and batted around, and Florida came up with it. Well, here's Clayton Jr. attacks the rim, and he tried to dunk it, but a foul is called. I don't know who fouled him. Is it Reed? Is it Caravan? Who is it? This is going to be critical right here.
Well, if it's Reed he's out.
I think it's, I don't know, McNeely? Who is it?
It's McNeely's first.
Wow. That was a lucky bounce for the Gators to come up with a miss. And that's what you got to do if you're Walter Clayton Jr. Try to go right to the rim and dunk. it's hard to defend a guy who's trying to dunk it. He makes the free throw.
And he's also their best free throw shooter, 86%. He came into the game making 13 of his last 14, 5 for 6 today.
All right, so Clayton Jr. now up to 19 points. Hadn't scored a lot, but he's got 20, just like that. 3-point lead. Clayton Jr., who had 8 at the half. UConn, Diarra to the front court, guarded by Martin. Out front to Karaban. Gives to Diarra on the right sideline. Spins to his left. Between the rings to McNeely for 3. And no good. Batted around, and Florida has it with 1:25 to go. McNeely missed it. Good defense by the Gators. They're out on him. 67-64. Here's Clayton Jr., and he gives to Hauk. Guarded by Karaban on the left wing. Back to Condon. Condon looking to hand it off to Clayton Jr., and he does. He's cut off. He fires an off-balance 3, and he makes it. 70-64, and the Gators, who've been very sedate as UConn has been beating them most of the second half, have a 6-point lead with 1:03 to go. Now they're celebrating.
It's a 12-3 run by Florida, and Clayton's taken over the game. He's got a couple of threes during that run.
It's a 30-second timeout by Dan Hurley.
Huskies built the lead up to 6 a couple of times in the middle of the first half. They started the half shooting well, 7 of 13.
Field goal by Clayton has been confirmed as a 3-point shot.
Yeah, 6-0 run and with 49 in the last 49 seconds, and the Gators made 5 of their last 6.
But UConn started the half 7 of 13 from the floor. Since then, they've gone 3 for 12, and a lot of those are missed threes.
The Huskies have taken 28 threes. Meanwhile, Florida, 19 threes. They made 9 of them. 5 by Walter Clayton Jr. He seems to shoot better in motion and fading away than he does when he's open. It's a strange thing.
He's not just their best free throw shooter, but also their best percentage three-point shooter. 5 of 8 today.
All right, Ball, Karaban, Diarra, McNeely, and Reed.
And here's where you're going to need those threes that have not been dropping.
All right, 1 minute to go. McNeely on a handoff to Ball. Ball guarded by Clayton Jr. Back to McNeely. Skip it right to Ball. Ball drives inside. Floats the shot up, no good. Tipped by Reed. Rebound, Florida. And Condon has it, and he's fouled by Diarra. So the Gators, and UConn could not come up with a bucket, and the Gators got the rebound. It's been 39-35 on the boards for Florida. And they're starting to exhale a little bit with a 6-point lead and going to the free throw line with 2 free throws coming.
Huskies missed 6 of the last 7. The one they made was the 3 by Ball from Reed, as they weren't looking for threes there. They were looking to get the ball inside. Ball had that shot inside.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought they would shoot threes. You're down 6.
Then Reed got the tip, didn't go.
And Condon misses again.
Well, he's the guy you'd want to foul here. He's not been good from the line. 3 for 7 now in the game for the big guy that shoots 61%.
He's got 5 points on the day, averages 11, and 8 rebounds. Second one up, no good. And they got another rebound, and Martin dunks it. And that might be the nail right there. 72-64. As the Gators came up with 2 or 3 plays, here's Diarra attacking. Back to McNeely. McNeely drives to the basket and lays it in left-handed. Timeout called by Dan Hurley. 72-66. Florida, 28 seconds away from advancing to San Francisco and the Sweet 16. It's a full timeout. But Martin got a big rebound, and that's how Florida has been able to escape right now. A couple of extra opportunities, and they lead it 72-66. UConn 14 for Alex Karaban, 13 for Liam McNeely, 10 for Samson Johnson, 8 for Solo Ball, 6 for Hassan Diarra. Reed has 5 points and 8 rebounds, and Sampson with 10 points, 10 rebounds.
Game, the Huskies led by 6 with 10-10 to go after free throws by Aiden Mahaney, and then slowly chipping away, actually quickly chipping away. And who started it? Who else? Walter Clayton Jr. had a 3, had a couple of more later on in the half. He's been huge down the stretch for the Gators.
Yeah, 2 years ago, UConn faced him with Iona.
He had 15 in that game. That was the game that Iona led by 2, coached by Rick Pitino at halftime. And then UConn had that big second half. They had won 12 straight games by double-figure margins in the NCAA until their 13th game. And that was Friday night against Oklahoma, which UConn won by less than double digits. Had the 6-point lead here, but right now with 28 seconds to go, 72-66.
Well, UConn facing this Florida team, number 1 in the West region, number 3 in the country. They started the season 21st ranked, and they really put on a show to get to the top of their conference in the SEC tournament. And here they are with a 6-point lead with 28 seconds left. Walter Creighton Jr. will try to inbound the ball against Jaden Ross, who's come off the bench. And he can run the baseline because UConn just scored. Clayton Jr., and he gets it in to Martin. Gets it back to Jr., and up the right sideline of Condon, and they do get into the front court, just barely, as a foul had to be committed there by the Huskies.
Yeah, UConn really worked hard to get the steal in the backcourt and came close a couple times. And then once they got it in the forecourt, immediate foul. That's what you've got to do.
The Gators have had some big wins this year, maybe none bigger than this one, though. They trailed the 2-time defending champs in the second half by 6, about midway through it. They are their 3rd all-time win against the number 1 earlier in the year, and they routed Tennessee. Free throws good by Martin. He had a great first half, quiet in the second half.
This is the highest-rated team UConn has played all year.
Yeah, they've had some big wins, as I mentioned. The first all-time road win against the number 1 team. They won at Auburn earlier. Martin's second one good. 73-66. 74-66. Diarra looking to inbound the ball, gets it into Reed. Pitches back to Diarra. 20 seconds left. Hassan kicks it back to McNeely, who drives to the basket and lays it up and in. 74-68. And Clayton Jr. trying to get it in. They turn it over. And stolen. And a foul is called. That stops the clock with 8.6 left. And that's going to be 2 shots for McNeely. The time is running out. 8 seconds left. UConn does not have a timeout. Florida's got 1. McNeely on the line. What do they do here? Make one, miss one? They're down 6. It's a long way to go in 8 seconds.
I think you got to go for the 2 and then go for the steal.
Yeah, and then try to get a 3-point field goal that draws a foul or something. It's crazy. All right, timeout's been called, I believe, by Florida. They're the only team that had one.
Game clock is under review.
They're going to maybe add some time. We'll see. But UConn, with a great effort against the number 1 here. They came in as a number 8. And I was talking to Luke Murray, the assistant coach, 2 nights ago. The Huskies' couple losses this year kind of put them in this situation
Game
where
clock will be corrected to 9.1 seconds.
Where they were not a top 4 seed or top 5, which gets you away from the number 1 seed in the second round. They end up 8, and then they got to face the number 1 right away in the second game of the tournament. That's why those regular season games all have so much meaning.
Well, UConn has never been this much of an underdog to a number 1 seed, 9.5 for this one, since 1999 when they were a 9.5-point underdog to Duke. All I got to say is 77-74.
Oh, I'm McNeely on the line. He gets 2 free throws. The first one's up and good. So Liam, now 16, leads the way for the Huskies.
In fact, he has scored the last 5 UConn points.
Yeah, 5 for 15 from the field for him, 2 for 9. Him and Alex Caravan. 10 for 29 on the game. The second one by McNeely is good. It rolls in off the front rim. So, 4-point game, 74-69. Timeout left for Florida. Clayton Jr. Oh, what do we have here? A foul is called on Diarra. He tried to draw a foul, a charge, and he got run over by Will Richard. Nice try by Haas. Tommy Morris, he wasn't going to fall for it. Diarra playing maybe in his final 9 seconds in a UConn uniform. What a career he's had. 6th man of the year last year, 2 rings. And DR has been the heartbeat of this team most of the season.
General Hassan is what his coach, Dan Hurley, calls him. All 4 of his assists in that game come in the second half.
And the first free throw, no good. So not over yet.
They're letting UConn hang around just because of their poor free throw shooting. They were 7 for 7 from the line in the first half. In the second half, 12 of 24. They're 72 as a team overall. That was 10th in the SEC.
All right, Will Richard gets another opportunity. That one's good. So 5-point game. UConn will inbound on the baseline. It'll be McNeely. And McNeely gets it into Ross, who pitches it back to McNeely. And McNeely's fouled by Walter Clayton Jr. to stop the clock with 6.1 left. And Walter almost ended up in our laps.
That's why they call them laptops.
Thanks for stepping in, Wayne, and protecting me. I appreciate it.
He was coming at me, pal. Speaking of laptops, our friend Dave Borges from Hearst, Connecticut Media, I mentioned on Friday night that a loose ball knocked over the open cup of water, and he lost his laptop. It was disabled because of that, which I find to be rather ironic since the building we're playing in here is the Lenovo Center. Lenovo makes laptops.
What do we have here? We're reviewing something. I don't know what.
It's Clayton's 4th foul, not that it matters with 6 seconds to go.
Are we reviewing the time on the clock? I'm not sure. I mean, the foul was pretty obvious. We were about 5 feet away from it.
So another game when UConn shooters had collective bad nights. Caravan was off his mark until late in the game. He was 5 for 13. Ball, 2 for 11, 2 for 9 from three-point range. McNeely was 1 of 7 from 3, 5 of 15 overall. He's had a couple of points here in the last few minutes.
And the Huskies fans, maybe one last time on the season, getting behind their team. UConn put a major scare into the number 1 seed Florida here. And trail by 5 with 2 free throws coming for Liam McNeely. Florida made their last 6 field goals. I mean, that's the way to finish.
Game clock will be corrected, 6.6.
All right, so a half a second goes on there.
And UConn did close the game strongly, a 10-3 run against Oklahoma on Friday. They closed the first half today on an 11-7 run to tie the game at 31. But these last 10 minutes have been all Florida. And again, you look back to what I mentioned earlier, that the Huskies had almost 6 opportunities with a 6-point lead to expand the lead. They couldn't do it. It really came back to bite them.
McNeely on the line. He'll get 2 free throws. Both teams in the double bonus. First one good. He rattles it home. 75-71. Another opportunity. Let's see if UConn might commit one more foul if he makes this. I don't know. And that one is up, and it's good. All right, so 75-72, 3-point game, 6.6 left. Caravan in. Walter Clayton Jr. can run the baseline. He runs to his right. He looks to get it in, and a foul is called as Ross reached in on Hauk. And again, Florida will go to the line with 5.9 left.
Hauk, an 81% free throw shooter, 3 for 4 today. I kind of had a thought. If it's some way you could just leave Condon open, the 6'11 guy, he's been 3 for 8 from the foul line here. He might be your best chance at a desperation play. But instead, Hauk goes to the line, and he's good.
So on the line, it is Hauk with a 3-point lead, and the shot is up, and it rolls in off the front rim, the glass, and in. Ross and Stewart come out. And McNeely comes back in with Reed. And Hauk, his team has a 4-point lead. Another opportunity, and that one's good. So Florida 77-72. 5.9 left. Reed on hand up to Diarra into the front court. Diarra looks to deal it to McNeely for 3, and McNeely hits at the buzzer, and that's the final. 77-75. Florida survives in a great game. The Huskies maybe one possession away from staying alive here. The 13-game NCAA tournament winning streak is over. Their season is over, and Florida survives. And they learned a little something from the Huskies here this afternoon. 77-75 victory over UConn.
31-23 run over the final 9.5 minutes by Florida. Down by 6 at that juncture, and they started making shots, and UConn really had a hard time getting shots to fall. Not counting some of these in the final minute or so. They at one point were like 2 for 12 from the floor, and Florida stopped turning the ball over, and UConn couldn't stop them from scoring. They outscored UConn by 2 in the second half. The game was tied at 31 at halftime. And after these teams played 6 times earlier, UConn lost the first one in the NCAA's Sweet 16 in overtime in '94, won the last